Hi everyone and welcome to Bennett's travel blog. I'm Helen Bennett.
And I'm Steve Bennett.
We are a husband and wife team
And we
love
love
to
to
travel.
So this is the third video covering our Caribbean cruise on the P&O Britannia. So we're going to be looking at a few categories. We're looking at the embarkation and disembarkation procedures. We're looking at the accommodation, i.e. the cabin. Food and dining, which is a big interest for lots of people. The beverage packages and sort of quality of the drinks. The overall customer service, the entertainment we had whilst we were on board, and finally the Wi-Fi. And we'll be sort of marking these on a little categories of either excellent, very good, good, or disappointing. So let's, without any further ado, let's get on with it. So next adventure begins. Here we are, Bournemouth Airport, and this is typical Bournemouth Airport. Empty, which is lovely. A short queue to check in over there. And this is nice, it's nice and quiet. And so, 10 minutes ago we just arrived at the airport. Walked in the door. We've checked in, we've gone through security. We're now sitting in the bar and Helen's just getting a couple of drinks. So that is the joy of Bournemouth Airport. If ever you get the chance to travel, if you're down south, avoid Gatwick and Bristol and all them busy places. Come to Bournemouth. It's an absolute breeze. Car parking's easy, right opposite the departure terminal. And as I say, check-in took like a minute, security a minute, and here we are sitting down, gonna have a drink. Thoroughly recommend Bournemouth Airport. So it was a bit of a surprise, but a nice surprise all the same. When we walked down the steps from the aircraft, as we were sort of disembarking the aircraft, there were some coaches pulled up on the tarmac right next to the plane. What we didn't realise is that these coaches would take us direct to the Britannia, and that all the immigration checks would take place at the port terminal. So hence we completely bypassed all of the hustle and bustle of the airport arrivals areas. It was a very slick operation, and after a long flight, it was nice to sort of just walk off the plane, get on the coach, and be on our way. And suitcases were sorted all out for us, etc., and followed on later. So yeah, very good system. Nice surprise. So disembarkation was also a pretty smooth operation, and typically, like on most cruises, we left our suitcases out the large suitcases out the day before, which were collected and obviously taken to the airport for us, which made life a little bit easier. But then we were unfortunate because we got caught in a bit of a tropical downpour as we were leaving the ship, so got a bit soaked. But I can't blame P&O for that. Really, it was just timing. So yeah, great. Next time we saw the big suitcases was on the carousel at Bournemouth Airport. So a very smooth operation. Really can't fault it. So how do we score the embarkation and disembarkation process? Well, it simply has to be excellent. It's a very slick operation, and I really don't think you could improve on it. So the meal we had in the glass house was nothing short of epic. We had a steak sharing platter with a couple of sides of chicken wings and what have you, and it was, I have to say, absolutely delicious. We really enjoyed it. The red wine was flowing, and it was really good food, really good food. Loved it. And the Epicurean takes food to another level. I have to say, it is sort of a fine dining at its best, and yeah, I've had some beautiful meals in the Epicurean, and this trip was nothing different. The steaks were brilliant. I had a T-bone pork one night, which I didn't even know existed, and it was wow. It was really good, and I'm so looking forward to trying it again on another P&O ship. And yeah, it was great. The Epicurean is if you're going to do one specialist restaurant, do the Epicurean. I really recommend it. Sindhu was it was good, but it's probably our least favourite, to be honest, out of all the restaurants we visited. I think it's got so much hype that maybe we our expectations were too high. Don't get me wrong; it was really nice, really good food. But when we compare it to the Glass House and the Epicurean, I don't think it was as good as that. But don't get me wrong; I'd go back. I'd definitely go back. So main dining room food, never disappointed. We had some great meals in the main dining room. Can't really fault that. Service was good. So yeah, really, really great experience on the food and dining on the Britannia. So moving on to beverages, there's an excellent range of beers, an excellent range of wines, and obviously all your spirits and mixers, etc. We had the classic drinks package. So if you're a wine, spirit, or beer drinker, I think you'll be fine. One of the joys of cruising for us is cocktails. We love a cocktail, and our first P&O cruise on the Aurora, good range of cocktails. However, that has changed. So the latest range of cocktails is very limited. I think a lot of them are pre-mixed as well. So, for instance, my wife couldn't even get a sort of a vodka martini, which is basically two ingredients with an olive chucked in. So it's yeah, the range of cocktails is disappointing when you compare it to the likes of Princess and even MSC. MSC drink cocktails are excellent. So overall, pretty damn good, but we're disappointed in the cocktails. But that's just us. If you're not a cocktail drinker, you'll be fine. So let's talk customer service. I've seen a number of reviews that say the service has dropped off on Britannia. I can only go on our own personal experience. We found it excellent, excellent service throughout the ship. I really couldn't fault any of the staff. The cabin steward was great. The bar staff were great. Table service in the various bars. So overall, I really can't fault the customer service, and maybe we were lucky if it has gone downhill. I certainly didn't notice any difference, and yeah, it gets an excellent from us. So entertainment is the next category. Yeah, some quite varied entertainment, from Ray Quinn to a young lady called Taryn who was on Britain's Got Talent, George Michael tribute act, the resident bands, etc. So anyway, it's a few snippets for you to have a look at, and you make up your own mind. But we know what we thought.
In other words, baby, kiss me. Fill my heart with song. Let me sing forevermore. Because you are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you.
So entertainment, yeah, it hit the right note for us, if you pardon the pun. Really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. Taryn and Ray Quinn were the highlights, but overall excellent. So let's talk Wi-Fi. We pre-purchased the package, the essential package. As you can see, there's a couple of options up there on the screen. Um, it did what it said on the tin as such, but we were disappointed with the Wi-Fi. I would expect at £12 a day to be able to make a voice call over sort of something like WhatsApp or Messenger or something. So yeah, a bit disappointed. And I certainly wouldn't pay £18 a day, which I think is an awful lot of money just to get the extra bandwidth as such. One tip worth noting is that as the ship stops in a different port nearly every day, if you get off the ship, there's these little villages set up with bars and restaurants and what have you. You can step off the ship, go and install yourself in a bar, get yourself a cold drink, and they've all got free Wi-Fi. So you just hook into their Wi-Fi, make your calls, send your messages or whatever, and you're good to go, sort of thing. So on next time, I don't think I'll bother getting the shipboard Wi-Fi at all. So it's time to sum up. There's no such thing as a perfect holiday, no such thing as a perfect cruise, no such thing as a perfect hotel. There's always compromises along the way, which yeah, you just ride with the punches, as they say, you know. So overall, with the sort of disappointed in the Wi-Fi, cocktails were a bit of a downer for us, but overall we had such an excellent time. We really enjoyed our cruise, and yeah, the ports are lovely, and visiting all those different islands. We're cracking weather, and lovely ship, really nice staff. Made some good friends on board, so our overall rating has to be very good to excellent. And as I say, the big question is, would we return? We would return in a heartbeat. In fact, we actually booked for a similar cruise in the Caribbean whilst we were still on board for the following January. So yeah, I mean, the proof of the pudding is a returning customer, and we are going to be returning customers. Love the ship, and looking forward to January 26th for the next Caribbean adventure. Thanks for watching and listening. And if there's any questions about the Caribbean cruise, please feel free to pop them in the comments, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.